Hello Swatantra viewers. Welcome to English News Bulletin. I am Mahima, bringing you the latest updates. Hyderabad is India's best city in Mercer's quality of living. Hyderabad with a rank of 153, Pune at 154, and Bangalore in the 156th position are the three highest placed among Indian cities in Mercer's worldwide quality of living ranking for 2023, which rates Vienna in Austria at the top of the list. Chennai is the fourth Indian city in the list at the 161 spot, followed by Mumbai at 164. Kolkata, 170, and New Delhi, 172. KTR said in a tweet, Hyderabad is yet again rated as the best Indian city by Mercer. This is the sixth time since 2015. Congratulations to all Hyderabadis. Mercer's quality of living data assesses the practicalities of daily life for expatriate employees and their families in assignment locations worldwide. Vienna retained its top position in the list, which was last published in pre-COVID 2019. The survey describes the city as known for its rich history, stunning architecture, and vibrant cultural scene. Vienna offers its residents a high standard of living in various aspects. It is followed by Zurich, Switzerland, and Auckland, New Zealand in second and third place, respectively. Places with low quality of living include several African cities: N'Djamena, Chad, Bangui, Central African Republic, and Khartoum, Sudan, ranked 236th, 239th, and 241st, respectively. Locations from Middle East also ranked low, including Sana'a, Yemen, at 238, where its ranking signals the need for continued attention to humanitarian efforts and reconstruction initiatives. Also, Baghdad, Iraq, ranked at 240, who is seeking to rebuild its infrastructure. In addition to the 7 European countries in the top 10, other notable cities with a high quality of living include Amsterdam, the Netherlands, 14th, Oslo, Norway, 24th, Stockholm, Sweden, 26th, Paris, France, 32nd, Helsinki, Finland, 34th, and Dublin, Ireland, 42nd. In the UK, London secures the 45th position, followed by Aberdeen, 49th, Edinburgh, 51st, Glasgow, 54th, Birmingham, 60th, and Belfast. New CPs for Hyderabad, Rachakonda, and Cyberabad. The Congress government in Telangana on Tuesday appointed new police commissioners to 4 zones. Kotkota Srinivasa Reddy has been given the role of Police Commissioner of Hyderabad. The sitting Police Commissioner Sandeep Shandilya has been posted as the Director of the Telangana State Narcotics Bureau. Similarly, G. Sudhir Babu has been posted as Rachakonda Police Commissioner and Avinash Mohanty as the Commissioner of Police Cyberabad. M. Stephen Ravindra and D. S. Chauhan, who were outgoing police commissioners, were asked to report to the Director General of Police Office. This is the maiden exercise undertaken by the new Congress government in Telangana. The government has taken a reshuffle of police commissioners in the 4 zones of the capital. The government is likely to focus on reshuffling bureaucrats in the coming days. Minister for Civil Supplies, N. Uttam Kumar Reddy, said that irregularities were found in the Civil Supplies Department. Measures would be taken to provide quality rice to the poor. The previous government pushed the Civil Supplies Department into debt. The minister conducted a review of the Civil Supplies Department in Hyderabad. Officials briefed the minister on the functioning of the department. The minister said that the financial condition of the Civil Supplies Department is alarming. The department suffered a loss of 56,000 crore. Some consumers have not used ration cards. Ration rice is diverted by some people. The collection of paddy from farmers should be transparent. He promised to provide corruption-free and transparent governance to the people. The promise of delivering LPG cylinder at 500 rupees would be fulfilled in 100 days.
ఈ శాఖకు సంబంధించిన రెండు గ్యారెంటీస్ అయితే ఉన్నాయో గ్యాస్ సిలిండర్ 500 రూపాయలకి ఇవ్వడము, రెండోది ప్యాడీ ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్ మీద 500 రూపాయలు బోనస్ ఇవ్వడము, ఇవి రెండు కూడా 100 రోజుల పరిపాలన లోపల ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ చేయడానికి మేము కట్టుబడి ఉన్నాము. క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ రేషన్ సప్లై, దీని క్వాలిటీ ఇంప్రూవ్ కావాలని చెప్పి నేను నా సజెషన్, నా సూచన ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. గత 9.5 ఏళ్లుగా పిఆర్ఎస్ ప్రభుత్వం సివిల్ సప్లైస్ కార్పొరేషన్కి ఆర్థిక సహాయం అందించకపోవడంతో సివిల్ సప్లైస్ కార్పొరేషన్ టోటల్ లోన్స్ 56,000 కోట్లకి చేరింది. స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఏం చేసింది? పైసలు ఇవ్వలేదు, మేము గ్యారంటీ ఇస్తున్నాం, మీరు అప్పులు తెచ్చుకోమంటున్నది. ఇది సంవత్సరానికి 3,000 కోట్లు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ కదా లేదు, ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పడనే సివిల్ సప్లైస్ కార్పొరేషన్ 3,000 కోట్లకు వచ్చింది. రాష్ట్ర కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వాలు ఏదైతే డ్యూస్ ఉన్నాయో ఈ సివిల్ సప్లైస్ కార్పొరేషన్స్కి ఇవ్వకుండా మరి సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ డిలే చేయడం, స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఏమంటే మేము గ్యారంటీ ఇస్తాం, మీరు పోయి లోన్లు తెచ్చుకోండి. ఓకే, అది ఈరోజు చాలా అలార్మింగ్ పొజిషన్ ఆఫ్ Civil Supplies Corporation.
BR's President and former Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao on 12th December requested the people not to visit the private hospital at Somajiguda in Hyderabad where he is recuperating after a hip replacement surgery. In a video released on Tuesday, he asked people not to visit him for the next 10 days to avoid inconvenience to hundreds of other patients who were at hospital and also avoid the danger of him contracting infections. KCR thanking people for the concern they were showing over his health condition, also pointed out that traffic congestion in the hospital vicinity was an issue, causing inconvenience to other patients coming to the hospital as well.
ఈ రోజు వివిధ ప్రాంతాల నుంచి, రాష్ట్రం నుంచి వందలాదిగా వేలాదిగా తరలి వచ్చినటువంటి అభిమానులందరికీ నా హృదయపూర్వక వందనాలు. నాకు అనుకోకుండా జరిగినటువంటి యాక్సిడెంట్తోని ఆసుపత్రిలో, యశోద హాస్పిటల్లో నేను ఇక్కడ ఉన్న ఈ సందర్భంలో వైద్య బృందం సీరియస్గా నన్ను హెచ్చరించింది ఏంటంటే ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ వచ్చే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది, దాంతో సమస్య ఇంకా పెరిగి చాలా అవస్థలు వస్తాయి, మీరు నెలల తరబడి బయటకు పోలేరనే మాట చెప్తున్నారు. దాన్ని గమనించి దయచేసి మీ అభిమానానికి నేను 1000 చేతులు ఇచ్చి మీకు దండం పెడతా ఉన్నా. మీరందరూ కూడా ఈరోజు బాధపడకుండా మేము ఈ స్వస్థలాలకు మంచిగా క్షేమంగా వెనుదిరిగి పోవాలి. రేపటి నుంచి కూడా నేను రాష్ట్ర ప్రజలకు విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తూ ఉన్నా, దయచేసి కనీసం ఇంకో 10 రోజుల వరకు ఎవ్వరు కూడా తరలి రావద్దని, అది అందరికి కూడా మంచిది కాదని చెప్పి నేను వినయపూర్వకంగా విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తూ ఉన్నా. కింద ట్రాఫిక్ ఇబ్బందులు కూడా ఉన్నాయి. హాస్పిటల్లో మనం కాకుండా వేరే వందలాది మంది పేషెంట్లు కూడా ఉన్నారు ఇక్కడ, వాళ్ళ క్షేమం కూడా మనకు అంతే ముఖ్యం. కాబట్టి మీరు అన్యదా భావించకుండా క్రమశిక్షణతో దయచేసి మీరందరూ తిరిగి మీ ఇళ్ళ క్షేమంగా చేరండి. నేను మంచిగా అయిన తర్వాత తప్పకుండా రోజు 10 మధ్య ఉండేవాడినే కాబట్టి మళ్ళీ కలుసుకుందాం మనం, దానికి ఇబ్బంది లేదు. దానికి ఇప్పుడు కింద కేటీఆర్ కానీ మన అక్బరుద్దీన్ ఓవైసీ మన మిత్రపక్ష నాయకులు కానీ ఉన్నారు, వాళ్ళందరూ మీకు చెప్తారు. దయచేసి నా కోరికను మన్నించి ఎటువంటి హాస్పిటల్ దగ్గర ఇతర పేషెంట్లకు కానీ, నాకు కానీ లేదా ప్రజలకు కానీ ట్రాఫిక్ కానీ ఇబ్బందులు కలగకుండా మీరు వెంటనే తరలి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి, మీ ఇళ్ళకి క్షేమంగా చేరుకోవాలని చెప్పి నేను భగవంతుని ప్రార్థిస్తూ ఉన్నా. నా మాటను మన్నించి గౌరవించి ఏమాత్రం ఇబ్బంది లేకుండా, గొడవ లేకుండా మీరందరూ తిరిగి మీ స్వస్థలాలకు క్షేమంగా చేరుకోవాలనేది నా విజ్ఞప్తి. నా విజ్ఞప్తిని తప్పకుండా మీరు మన్నిస్తారని భావిస్తూ ఉన్నా. ధన్యవాదాలు.
The Andhra Pradesh State Cabinet meeting chaired by Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy has been postponed to 15th December. It is earlier scheduled to meet 14th December. Andhra Pradesh State Chief Secretary K.S. Jawahar Reddy conveyed this information and issued a notice regarding the cabinet meeting. The Chief Secretary has instructed all special chief secretaries, principal secretaries, and secretaries of government departments to submit their proposals in the format outlined in the cabinet handbook. They are to follow the instructions provided by the General Administration and submit their proposals by 13th December at 4 p.m. Energy Conservation Day to be held on 14th December. Special Chief Secretary Energy K. Vijayanand said that the National Energy Conservation Day which is being celebrated on 14th December year, which aims at driving mass awareness about the importance of energy efficiency and conservation and focuses on making people aware of global warming and climate change and promotes efforts towards saving energy resources. The state government is promoting energy efficiency and energy conservation in Andhra Pradesh by organizing National Energy Conservation Week from December 14th to 20th in a big way. He said that the state government considers energy conservation and energy efficiency programs as one of the key factors in development of the state, as it would bolster energy security, reduce reliance on import of coal, oil and gas by reducing energy demand, and promote sustainability of the power sector and overall economic growth of the state. Governor of Andhra Pradesh S. Abdul Nazir has participated in the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra program held at Gallegude village of Denduluru Mandal in Iluru district on Tuesday. Speaking on the occasion, Governor Abdul Nazir has said that the goal of the Yatra is to raise awareness and facilitate the delivery of the welfare scheme benefits to all the eligible persons and with an aim to reach out to the vulnerable sections of people to achieve saturation of schemes. He said that the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra gives an opportunity to people who are eligible under various schemes but have not availed of the benefits so far, dissemination of information and generating awareness about schemes, learning from the citizens by interaction with beneficiaries of government schemes like PM Awas Yojana, Jal Jeevan Mission, PM Kisan Samman, PM Poshan Abhiyan, Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana and others.
Dissemination of information and generating awareness about the schemes. Learning from the citizens by interaction with the beneficiaries of government schemes through their personal stories and experience sharing. Enrollment of potential beneficiaries through details ascertained during the Yatra. Some of the outreach programs being implemented by the Government of India on saturation basis include Ayushman Bharat Yojana, PM Awas Yojana, Jal Jeevan Mission, PM Kisan Samman, PM Poshan Abhiyan, Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, PM Ujjwala Yojana, PM Garib Kalyan Yojana, PM Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, PM Bharatiya Janaushadhi Pariyojana.
The auspicious Margashira Masotsavam festival is set to kick off on Wednesday at the Sri Kankam Lakshmi Amvari Devasthanam in Vishakhapatnam. Devotees from Uttar Andhra regions and across the state are expected to converge at the temple during the month-long celebration, running from today until the 11th of next month. Anticipating a significant turnout of around 6 lakh devotees, the temple committee and officials have implemented special arrangements. Stringent measures include provisions for drinking water, medical camps, a temporary police station, robust police presence, and dedicated women police personnel to ensure safety, as well as fire prevention measures. The RTC has organized free auto services from New Road Junction for disabled individuals and mothers of Chanti children, along with complimentary buses for devotees from Gajuvaka, Simhachalam, and Madhurwada areas. Special queuing lines have been arranged for physically challenged persons, celebrities, and general devotees, ensuring efficient darshan arrangements from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. every morning. Congress leader and Lok Sabha member Rahul Gandhi took a dig at Union Home Minister Amit Shah over his remarks on India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, saying that the minister does not know history. While talking to the reporters outside the parliament on 12th December, Gandhi said, Pandit Nehru dedicated his life for this country. He was in jail for years. Amit Shah does not know history. The Congress MP from Wayanad further reiterated the demand for the caste-based census and accused the government of not discussing the same. He said that the whole matter was about distracting the nation from the persisting issues like caste census and in whose hands the country's money is going. He said the Congress will take forward this issue and ensure that poor people get their rights. He had blamed P.T. Nehru for the Kashmir problem, saying that Jammu and Kashmir suffered due to 2 blunders by Nehru announcing a ceasefire and taking the Kashmir issue to the United Nations for the sufferings of the people of the region.
लाइफ दे दी हिंदुस्तान के लिए, सालों जेल में रहे। अमित शाह जी को शायद हिस्ट्री नहीं मालूम, वो तो मैं एक्सपेक्ट ही नहीं कर सकता हूं कि उनको हिस्ट्री मालूम, वो तो हिस्ट्री को रीराइट करते रहते हैं। ये पूरा का पूरा डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने का है। बेसिक इशू जाति जनगणना और जो भागीदारी है इस देश की, जो धन देश का है, वो किसके हाथों में जा रहा है, ये मेन इशू है। और इस इशू को ये लोग डिस्कस नहीं करना चाहते, इससे डरते हैं, इससे भागते हैं। मगर ये इशू को हम आगे ले जाएंगे और जो गरीब लोगों का हक है वो हम उनको दिलवाएंगे। मेरा पॉइंट है कि सरकार का सिस्टम, हमारा इंस्टीट्यूशनल सिस्टम जो है पूरा का पूरा, उसमें ओबीसी की कितनी भागीदारी है, दलितों की कितनी भागीदारी है, आदिवासियों की कितनी भागीदारी है, ये हिंदुस्तान के सामने मेन सवाल है। और ये मुझे बोलने दीजिए, आपसे सवाल पूछा तो बोलने दीजिए। हाँ, ये मेन इशू है। और 24 घंटा ये डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने के लिए कभी जवाहरलाल नेहरू के बारे में बोलेंगे, कभी किसी और के बारे में बोलेंगे। बात भागीदारी की है। थैंक यू।
Mamata Banerjee to meet PM on 20th December. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi on 20th December to seek release of financial dues to the state. The Prime Minister's office, PMO, has agreed to Banerjee's request for an appointment with Modi. According to officials in Kolkata, Banerjee had said that the centre owed 1.15 lakh rupees crore to West Bengal on various accounts. Hoax call to Raja Bhavan triggers tension. A phone call claiming that a bomb was planted inside the Raj Bhavan premises here and could go off anytime threw the city police into a tizzy on 11th December night. The police scrambled all over the governor's official residence and finally concluded that it was a hoax call. Adverb. According to Raj Bhavan sources, the call was made from Bidar. Investigations revealed that the call was made from Bidar. After the call, the phone was switched off. Police are trying to trace the caller. The police said the phone call turned out to be hoax call. The BJP on Tuesday picked first-time MLA Bhajan Lal Sharma as Rajasthan's new chief minister. The party sprang a surprise by selecting the first-time MLA for the chief minister's post. The BJP MLAs met here and elected the 56-year-old MLA from Sanganer as the leader of its legislature party. At the meeting, the CM designate's name was proposed by former Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje, who was herself considered to be in the running for the top post. Ashtriya Swayansevak Sangh-backed Sharma won the Sanganer constituency with a margin of 48,081 votes. He belongs to Bharatpur district. Sharma, who is at present the BJP's state general secretary, holds a master's degree in political science. Prior to the legislature party meeting, a group photo was taken and Sharma is seen standing in the last row. Dove soap and Hellmann's mayonnaise maker Unilever is being investigated over its environmental claims amid concerns shoppers are being misled. The Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, says Unilever may be overstating how green certain products are. Unilever makes household names such as CIF, Dove and the deodorant brand Lynx. The consumer giant said it was surprised and disappointed with the announcement and refuted its claims were in any way misleading. But the CMA said certain statements and language used by Unilever on some of its products appear vague and broad and may mislead shoppers. The watchdog also said some product ingredients were presented on packaging in a way to exaggerate how natural the products seemed, known as corporate greenwashing. It highlighted Unilever's use of colors and imagery such as green leaves as a cause of concern, arguing it could again overstate the product's environmental friendliness. More and more people are trying to do their bit to help protect the environment, but we are worried many are being misled by so-called green products that aren't what they seem, said CMA boss Sarah Cardwell. The government on 12 December moved a bill in the Rajya Sabha to regulate the appointment and service terms of Chief Election Commissioner and election commissioners. The Congress alleged that the proposed legislation was aimed at subjugating the Election Commission to the executive, moving the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners' appointment, conditions of service and term of office Bill 2023 for consideration and passage. Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal said the legislation has been brought in view of the Supreme Court judgment of March this year. He said the bill was introduced in the upper house on 10 August to replace the 1991 Act and was pending for consideration and passage. The 1991 Act did not have a clause related to appointment of CEC and other ECs. The minister said until now, the names of the appointees were decided by the government, but now a search and selection committee has also been constituted, and the matter related to salary has also been introduced through an amendment in the bill. The government on Tuesday moved a bill in the Rajya Sabha to regulate the appointment and service terms of Chief Election Commissioner and election commissioners, triggering a reaction from the Congress, which alleged that the proposed legislation subjugates the poll authority to the executive and violates the constitution. The industrial landscape of Srikakulam district is undergoing a remarkable transformation, driven by the upcoming Mullapeta port and proactive initiatives from Andhra Pradesh Industrial Infrastructure Corporation. In an exclusive statement, APEC officials shed light on the district's evolving industrial scenario, highlighting the crucial role the new port and their projects will play in reshaping the industrial landscape. The development in Srikakulam district is unprecedented, and the Mullapeta port is set to be a game-changer, with the coastal belt boosting numerous ports, fishing yards, marine projects, and the PCPIR. The region is poised for a substantial increase in import and export activities, stated an APEC representative. To cater to the needs of industries, particularly small businesses, APEC is taking proactive measures, including the initiation of the Pedibimavaram desalination project. This project aims to convert seawater into a valuable resource for industries. Furthermore, APEC is establishing a floating factory complex specifically designed to facilitate the needs of small entrepreneurs seamlessly. We aim to provide flexible area allotments to accommodate the requirements of any interested party, stated the APEC official. Most wanted serial killer Ramthi Satyanarayan alias Satyam was nabbed by the police and recovered 10 SIM cards, mobile phones, acid bottles, and other lethal weapons from him in Nagar Kurnool on 12 December. Parading the criminal before the media at the office of the Superintendent of Police at Nagar Kurnool on Tuesday, the police identified that he had committed 11 murders. The 47-year-old Satyanarayan, who is a native of Nagar Kurnool, brutally killed 11 people by luring them on the promise of unearthing hidden treasures, the police said. Satyam figured as an accused in 8 cases, the police said, adding that he was nabbed on directions from the Dick Chauhan. The police said that Satyam indulged in serial killings since 2020.
Ramthi Satyanarayana. So, ఏం చేస్తారంటే జనాలకు అందరికి కూడా నేను మీకు గుర్తులు తీసి పెడతాను. సో మీరు కొన్ని డబ్బులు ఇవ్వాలి నాకు. అండ్ నాకు కొన్ని విద్యలు కూడా వచ్చు, నాకు క్షుద్ర విద్యలు, వాటిని ప్రయోగించి నేను తీసి పెడతానని చెప్పాడు. సో అదే మాదిరిగా ఈ లాస్ట్ విక్టిమ్ని కూడా లేటెస్ట్గా తీసుకెళ్ళి నిర్మానుష ప్రదేశంలో అతనికి ఈ కొన్ని ప్లాంట్ పాయిజన్, ఆ ప్లాంట్ పాయిజన్ నూరి వాళ్ళు దాంట్లో కలిపి ఇది తీర్థం అని చెప్పి తీర్థంలాగా అతనికి వాళ్ళకి సేవించమని చెప్పాడు. తీసుకున్నాక వాడు మూర్చిపోయిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళని చంపేశాడు అన్నమాట.
Thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, Please do watch Swatantra TV. This is Mahima, signing off for the day. Keep watching Swatantra TV.